Once upon a time, not so long ago, entertainment options were limited by geography. So if someone wanted to watch basketball, for example, they actually had to attend a basketball game. So before television and live streaming, both supply and demand for basketball were local. And people were only able to consume basketball near their areas of residence, whether it was a local team or part of a barnstorming tour. So let's look at the economics of basketball before radio, television, and live streaming. Let's say, for the sake of illustration, that there were 10 towns in Indiana with a basketball team, and that these teams competed against each other in a statewide league. And let's say each of the 1,000 fans in each town had $100 that they were willing to spend on basketball entertainment each year. So in this example, the basketball entertainment market in Indiana would be worth $1 million. If the local basketball team was the biggest show in each town, people might be willing to spend all of their basketball entertainment dollars to watch that team play. So each of the 10 basketball teams in Indiana could expect revenue of about $100,000 each season. But now let's imagine that some entrepreneurs figured out a way to broadcast basketball games on television, making it possible for basketball fans to watch games not played in their region. And let's imagine that another group of entrepreneurs decided to form an Indiana super team, handpicking the best players in Indiana to play against teams from other states like Illinois and New York and Texas and California. And the team owners and broadcasters arranged for games to be played on television. Because people tend to gravitate toward the biggest show in town, once mass media breaks down geographic barriers, the economics of basketball change considerably. Instead of spending their $100 on the local team, the basketball fans in Indiana might spend more of their money to watch the Indiana super team, viewing some games on television, and occasionally traveling across the state to see a game in person with thousands of other fans. So most of the $100,000 in revenue the local teams had grown accustomed to receiving now would flow to the Indiana super team, who could capture the lion's share of the $1 million Indiana basketball market. But being a finite market, it is a zero-sum game, which leaves the local teams cash-strapped and vulnerable. And this is the nature of winner-take-all markets. Radio, television, and live streaming changed the way that basketball was consumed, because these technologies trumped geography. If you're the winner in a winner-take-all market, congratulations. But if you're not, don't give up yet. There's hope. People do tend to gravitate toward the biggest show in town, and television and live streaming have brought the world to our living rooms, making the global village our proverbial town. But seeing a sport played at the highest level isn't the only reason that people watch sports. When Marsha Sharp became the head coach of the Texas Tech women's basketball program, she inherited a team that drew less than 900 fans to each game. Did she whine and complain and accuse the world of being sexist and unfair? No, of course not. Thousands of people who've had a chance to meet Marsha Sharp know that that's not who she is at all. Not even a little bit. Instead, she built a program through patience and persistence, one person at a time. And her focus on relationships extended well beyond her players and her assistant coaches. So how did she do it? By coercing fans to attend games through marketing gimmicks like dollar dog nights and bobblehead giveaways and half-price tickets? No. She built a network of friends. She took the lead by building friendships inside and outside of Lubbock, and by encouraging her players to speak at school assemblies and attend birthday parties to make friends in the area. And through these efforts, she dramatically increased the fan base by developing a friend base, so to speak. Now, at the same time, she was, of course, focusing on recruiting great players and teaching the techniques and tactics of basketball to prepare her team to compete at the highest level. After all, winning games tends to bring in fans. But think about the reasons why people watch sports. Some people attend games simply because they are a family member or friend of one of the participants, while some people attend games because they are a fan of the team. And think about how committed friends and family are compared to the average fan. When you played sports growing up, did your team's win-loss record have anything to do with whether your parents attended your games? I hope not. They attended your games because you were their son or daughter. And maybe your siblings or grandparents or aunts and uncles attended some of your games as well. Did they attend because they wanted to jump on the bandwagon of a winning team? Probably not. They attended because they're family. And if your friends attended games, they probably showed up first and foremost to watch you play or to socialize with other friends. But fans are a little different. Fans are fickle. And fans tend to show up when the team is winning and tend to disappear when a team is struggling to win. Fans have options when it comes to the way that they spend their leisure time and their disposable income. And if fans are just being fans, they tend to gravitate toward the biggest show in town. Most parents wouldn't skip their child's game to see really well-paid strangers compete on TV. I know, they might TiVo the game or sneak a peek at their smartphone during their child's game, but given the choice between the two, most parents would attend their child's game. Because that familial relationship trumps the desire to see a sport played at its highest level. So Marsha Sharp very cleverly built a network of friends, one friendship at a time, and grew the Lady Raider family, one member at a time, until the program had thousands of kith and kin. And like they say, nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. So eventually, Texas Tech University had to build a much larger arena to accommodate all of the people who wanted to see the Lady Raiders play. So if you want to build a program, you might consider following the example of Marsha Sharp, and you might consider following the advice of John Wooden to make friendship a fine art. And I don't mean inviting so-called friends to like your team page. I mean actually having coffee with people or lunch with people, and inviting your players to do the same, and encouraging them to connect with the community and make friendships. Because this may be the best way for a David to survive among the Goliaths. Professional sport teams spend millions of dollars to market their players as regular, down-to-earth people to give fans the illusion that they know these people who they likely will never actually meet in person, except perhaps to get an autograph or take a photo. But for small market teams, they can actually build relationships between their players and their supporters. And smaller teams can create a network of friends or an extended family that attend games whether the team is winning or struggling to win. Marsha Sharp created a template that coaches and sport administrators can use to build a program, even when they have no realistic chance of becoming the biggest show in town. And you can read more in her excellent and underrated book, Tall Enough to Coach, the title of which plays into the David and Goliath archetype. So how do you beat Goliaths in a winner-take-all market? Relationships. And as sort of a postscript, I need to warn you that this approach can be so effective that you might run into a really good problem to have. Too many friends. Even though it's been over 20 years since Marsha Sharp's squad won the 1993 National Championship, and over 8 years since she coached her last basketball game, Marsha Sharp has to do her grocery shopping at odd times of the week, because she has so many friends who want to greet her while she's shopping, that the frozen food in her cart would melt before she had a chance to get to the cash register. And ultimately, that is a much better indicator of her success as a coach and as a person than the market share that the Lady Raider basketball program was able to capture during her tenure as head coach.